Hello beautiful people. If you're coming across this YouTube channel for the first time, welcome. If you're a return subby, thank you once again for believing in me and using your data, watching my videos. It's highly appreciated. Now, in this video, I would like to express my view on one issue that has been bothering my soul. For the longest time, I've been wanting to put my 2 cents worth on this matter. Weeks ago, the issue about Sithelo Shozi, who has 2 children with Andile Mpisani, who is Sean Mkize's son. He had the whole social network worried. She had a whole social media worried about her because she expressed how she bared abuse in the hands of the ex-boyfriend Andile Mpisani, who she has 2 children with. She further claimed that part of the abuse happened in front of the family, meaning, according to that statement, it was highly likely that other family members, including Sean Mkize, were aware of the abuse that she had suffered in the hands of that guy. Allegedly, one other issue that she insinuated was that she had suffered miscarriage in one of those abuse beatings that she received from Andile Mpisani. Okay, fine. The whole Twitter space and other social spaces really had people sympathizing with her. They stood up for her, in support of her, until Mamkize leaked some of the conversations that she, Sithelo, had omitted when she was giving evidence of the abuse that she alleged. And then, when Mamkize did so, on behalf of her son, Twitter and other social media spaces now got divided into 2, because now there were people that were like, how come you did not show us this bit of the information when you gave the other information? How come you did not share this? It has to be coming from the Mpisanis. In short, according to Mamkize, sharings now, it was no longer clear that Sithelo was the victim of Andile Mpisani alone, but it insinuated that she may have been also at other instances the perpetrator, because she also had been damaging the phone and had admitted to damaging the phone, had admitted to having an altercation with Andile Mpisani. Now, this reminded people of their relationship, how it began. By the way, when it began, Sithelo may have been 28, 29, whereas on the other hand, when that relationship started, Andile Mpisani was only 17. May have happened even before he was 17, according to what other people think. Now, the dynamics in that relationship were such that you have an older woman who is close to 10 years, not 10 years though, but close to 10 years older than the guy. So the dynamics in that relationship were such that the woman by her age, she was more mature to settle down. Whereas on the other hand, this boy who's only 17 is only navigating life there. So according to the evidence that came out, you could tell that Sithelo Shozi wanted Andile Mpisane to be there for her, particularly during the pregnancies. And he could not afford her that comfort of being there for her because, remember, he's very, very young. By the time the second born came to this earth, Andile was only 20. So the dynamics of that relationship, if you look at them, were not okay from the word-go, from the beginning. So it makes you wonder what could have been the reasons for Sithelo Shozi to be pregnant, not once, but twice, or even more than twice. Because she by herself, she claims she had a miscarriage at one point during the beatings that this boy gave her. So it makes you wonder if she had not noticed by the first child that this guy was only a boy, and shouldn't she have chosen other methods of prevention to ensure that the second pregnancy doesn't happen if the first one happened by mistake? And other options, shouldn't she have chosen other options? Because clearly this guy was not ready for being a father. But then we won't judge, and even with that history, we cannot give Andile the right to beat her. We cannot give Andile the right to abuse her in any way. In one of the evidences that she had produced was an audio in which Andile could be heard threatening her. It sounded like a death threat, even though it was not a direct death threat, but it sounded like a death threat. Obviously, it was in Zulu. And it also sounded like this guy had to look for a place where he could place the dynamics of his power too, because it sounded like he was placing his power to the monies that him and his mother have, because he was saying the lady could not amount to anything. She will forever be under them. Now, there were lots and lots of dynamics there. My point is, there are few things that we learned from that story. I personally have learned that it's getting more and more difficult to stand up for victims these days. Either when you stand up for victims, you end up having to swallow your own words, like Ntsiki Mazwai, having had to end up being sued for standing up for victims. So standing up for victims in this country is becoming a huge task. It's getting to a point where it's becoming an almost impossible task. You also get a difficulty of standing up for victims if you're going to get half truths from them. If you are to stand up for someone who claims they are, or who alleges that they are being violated in any way, it's difficult to ask them all the evidence at that particular time, because you also don't want to come across as a person who is not believing them. You want to give victims the impression of, I support you, I believe you. But how do you do that where you have seen cases in which, while people decide to step up and speak on behalf of someone and side with that someone, and they're advocating for that someone, and then they discover that someone did not tell the whole truth? It's so defeating. It's so defeating. to having to stand up for someone and then later discover that actually they did not tell you the whole truth. It's demoralizing. And once you've been there, how do you stand up for other victims that are coming? And it's also very, very difficult standing up for people, whereas we have other cases, not as Sithelo one, other cases where it would be discovered that the so-called victims lied. They lied because they wanted to get back at people that they deemed as their perpetrators. If you look into the Sithelo Shozi case, it makes you skeptical. It makes you skeptical. Because right now, as we speak, Sithelo Shozi is even back at work because of such cases. We've got so many dynamics that we really have to look at when coming to fighting for gender-based violence victims. So far, the victims that we can stand up for with no regret, it seems to be the femicide victims, because that would be a clear cut. It's a femicide. A lover has killed their woman. Even in that case, it would be difficult to look for all the reasons that can give us, because the remaining person could dish out evidence that the person that they killed had started the fight or had started whatever they started. So it's difficult. It's getting more and more difficult to stand up for gender-based violence victims because of all those dynamics and other more that I cannot even think of right now at this particular moment. Those are just the ones that are coming to my head. How do you step up for victims that lie to you? How do you step up for victims that tell you the half truths? It's so difficult. It's very, very difficult. So, back on Andile and Sithelo's issue. Now, it got into a point where people were asking, okay, we've been on your side all this time, but what have you done on your side? Then she went on to go and file for the protection order. Now, after filing the protection order, here's something that bothered me. Then she started a petition to say she needs a protection order. The father of the children has been like this, and now she wants not to have anything to do with the father of the children, all those things. Now, another thing that bothered me in that petition is that she was asking that the father of the children be like away from the children. Not in this age, not in 2022. Am I gonna sign for such a petition? I'm all for women getting protection orders to ensure that they are safe, their life are safeguarded against potential hazards that can lead to femicide. I am all for that. But to suggest that men who are potentially dangerous to us are also potentially dangerous to their children, so wrong. Whereas there is nothing that can verify that the same anger that we have endured in the hands of these men translates to the same violence that the children are also exposed to. And just because a man is violent to me does not give me a right to now declare him violent to everyone, including the children. Guys, we're living in a society that needs fathers. We're living in a society that has not been having fathers, that has had absent fathers forever. We cannot create more. Not for the sake of our own grudges, not for the sake of our own getting backs at people that do not love us anymore or that we have issues with. We shouldn't. So, and by the way, why would anyone want a petition for a protection order? Let's start there. This is so wrong on all levels. Just because she's a celebrity, or just because these people are of power, had it has happened that she had tried to get the protection order and maybe the court did not grant her the protection order, maybe based on who these people that she's asking protection order for or against. And then maybe the magistrate like somehow was biased. I would understand the petition. Not just I woke up and went to the court and asked for a protection order, then now I deserve to have a petition that says I must invite the whole nation to say I need a protection order from this man just because I'm a celebrity. No, guys, we've got serious problems. We have more serious problems and serious issues that I feel we need to focus on, other than people who just want protection orders and want petitions on protection orders. Unless Sithelo is not granted a protection order by the magistrate just because the magistrate is siding with the rich people, then, only then I could understand that, okay, then she needs a petition. For now, I really don't support the matter of a petition for protection order for Sithelo Shozi, and I've got nothing against her. And there shall be no woman that I feel deserves any bad treatment in the form of abuse of any kind. So if she has evidence, full evidence, I'm definitely sure the court will provide the protection order against Andile Mpisane, but it will certainly not grant the protection order against Andile Mpisane and the children. That is not going to happen. I hope Sithelo Shozi has got clever legal people that can make sure she understands that. And thank you so much for watching this video. Please share, like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.